Hey, what's up? This is Attorney Demario Solomon-Simmons. And if you're watching this video, that means you signed up for my upcoming academy and to join my community. I'm so excited that you are joining us. As you probably know by now, law is my ministry, justice is my passion. And in this introductory video, what I wanted to talk to you about is how to survive police encounters. How to survive police encounters. I don't have to tell you, but too many times black and brown individuals are brutalized by the police. We see it all the time on TV, and it's something that I deal with on a daily basis in my legal practice. But what I want to do, I want to tell you how to best protect yourself from this happening. And the best way to protect yourself from this happening is to know how to protect your life and protect your rights. Say it with me. Save your life and protect your rights. One more time. I want to make sure you save your life and protect your rights when dealing with the police. So I'm going to talk about two aspects. The first aspect I'm going to talk about is some tips that you can use to minimize the opportunity to be brutalized by the police. The second subject we're going to talk about is the rights that I want you to assert and how to properly do that while you're dealing with the police. All right? Is that all right? Okay, good deal. Well, let's start with the first issue. We want to figure out, I want to tell you how to protect and save your life, because that's number one. So I have 5 tips I want to give you, 5 tips. The first tip when you're dealing with the police is you have to remember what is the most important thing or most important aspect of dealing with the police. What is that? That is you leaving, not in the ambulance, not in a hearse, and not on your way to jail, period. In other words, the number one thought that should be in your mind is getting home safe. The number one thought that should be in your mind is getting home safe. It's not showing how smart you are. It's not showing how many statutes or laws you can actually recite to the officers. It's not showing how tough you are. It's not showing how unafraid you are. It is to get home safe. Now, let's be very clear here. There are officers, men and women, who are on the police force, black and white and otherwise, who have a disdain, a contempt for black and brown people, period, off top. And this is nothing I'm going to say today is going to protect you from that. And there's nothing that you can do about that. And if you have the unfortunate occurrence to come across one of those officers, you just got to do what I tell you and hope for the best, because these officers, they don't care. Unfortunately, there's probably nothing that can be done if they want to do something to you. I understand that. However, that is not all the officers. Most officers don't have that type of an attitude that they're looking to do something bad to you. However, they may have an attitude where they don't mind doing something bad to you. All right? So what I'm trying to tell you is to protect you really against those individuals who don't mind doing something bad to you and others. That makes sense? All right, so what is the number one rule? Number one tip? Right. I want to get home safe, not in an ambulance, not in a hearse, and not on my way to jail. So once you understand that, the next 4 rules are really easy to understand. Second rule, second tip. If you pull it over in a car, I want you to get your hands as soon as you pull over on the steering wheel, just like this. And I want you to keep your hands there until the officer comes up to your car and tells you otherwise. That means do not turn off your vehicle until the officer tells you to do so. Do not, if your window's rolled up, do not roll it down. If it's rolled down, do not roll it up. Do not start looking for your license. Do not start looking for your insurance. What do you need to do? Keep your hands just like this. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's ridiculous what's happening to our people every single day. Keep your hands like this. When an officer comes up to your window, comes up to your car, this is the 3rd rule. Remember this. I know this is the one you're going to say, why do I have to do this? Why do you have to do it? Because what's the first rule? That's right. Get home safe. As you're right here, before you make any movement, 3rd rule, you ask permission for every single movement. Every single movement. I know you're not a child. You're not a kid. You're not a punk. This is humiliating. I get it. But we don't care about that. All we care about is getting home to wifey, husband, kids, mother, father, whatever. So 3rd rule, keep your hands and say, officer, if he asks for your license, tell him, sir, my license is in my back pocket. I would like to go to my back pocket and get my license. Is that okay? make he or she say, yes, that is okay. They ask for your license, your registration. Sir, my registration is in my glove department. Do you want me to go to my glove department and get it, or would you like to get it? Get their permission. We've all saw the video with Lando Castillo, the brother that was killed unjustly up in Minnesota a couple of years ago. If you have not seen that video, check that video out. In that video, that young brother told the officer that he had a gun, and the officer told him I think the officer said, show me the gun or show me your license. And he went for his license, and the officer shot and killed him. Now, that officer was wrong. That officer should be in prison today. But my point is, you want to avoid that. And you want to say, sir, my license is in my pocket. Can I go? Could I have permission to get it? That's the third rule. Make no movement, zero, without getting express permission from the officer. I know that sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I know that makes you feel like a child. I understand that. I feel the same way. But guess what? These are rules that I teach all over the country, and these are rules that I employ myself, because I am also a victim of racial profiling. I'm also being pulled over. And if you're like me, when I see that officer get behind me, I cannot be doing anything. I'm going the speed limit. I have my license. I have my insurance. I'm a lawyer. I'm known. I'm afraid. But I start thinking about, I want to get home. I want to survive this. The fourth point, the fourth tip is you must keep a respectful, emotionless almost tone with the police officer. I don't care if you know they pulled you over for racial profiling. You know they lying. You know they trying to just get you on something that's bogus. Yes, sir. No, sir. Check your emotions. Keep your emotions low. Don't start screaming. Don't start cussing. Don't start saying, you can't touch me. You can't do this to me. That does not help you. That does not help you. That elevates the situation, and you don't have to do that. Now, that is hard, because when you are being discriminated against, when racism is confronting you right in your face, you want to get pissed off, because it's something to be mad about, particularly if this is happening in front of your children, in front of your wife, and as a man, your manhood is being challenged. I've been there. But the first rule is to get home safe. And if you lose control of your emotions, it's more likely you're going to forget the second rule, to keep your hands where they can see them at all times. You're going to forget the third rule, to ask permission to make every movement. And you're going to escalate the situation of a situation that's already tense. And you're going to decrease the likelihood that you go home and not to the hospital, not to the morgue, and not to the jail. That's the goal. That's the goal. Number 5, the fifth tip I want to just give you before I move on to how to assert your rights is no sudden movements. Now, if you're following tips 1 through 4, 5 is easy, because the tip 1 is saying, I'm always thinking about I'm always thinking about my number 1 thing is to get home. Get home, not in a hearse, not in an ambulance, and not to the jail, but to get home safe. So when you think about that, then it makes sense to keep your hands where they can see at all times. All right, number 2. Number 3, it makes sense to say, hey, can I have permission here to move? Number 4, hey, I'm talking to this guy. I'm going to give this guy or this woman respect. I'm going to keep my emotions checked, even if they're disrespecting me, because I want to get home. And so number 5 is really easy, because you know you don't want any sudden movements. You don't want to move fast. You don't want to jump. You don't want to flinch. You don't want to start doing all this and saying this and all this type of stuff that we do when we get mad, because that's who we are. We're people. We're emotional people. We get crunk. We do those things in just regular life. But in regular life that we're living here in America, we have a target on our back. We will not get the benefit of the doubt. You will not be able to get home to your family. And that's what this video is about, is get home to your family. Because I promise you in my academy, I promise you in my community, I will teach you the law, I will teach you your rights, I will teach you how to protect your rights, I'll teach you how to assert your rights so you can save time, money, and your life. All right, so those are the things you do, how to physically interact with the police. We talk about 2 rights and how to protect those rights and assert those rights. while you're dealing with the police. The main two things you need to remember is you have a right to remain silent at all times, and you should, and a right to be free from unnecessary or unreasonable searches and seizures. So just remember this phrase. Never admit, never consent. I'm going to say it again. Never admit and never consent. Oh, one more time. Say it with me. Never admit and never consent. What does that mean? You're never, ever going to admit to a crime. Period. So when you're dealing with that officer, you're being respectful, you're asking permission, you're yes or no, sir, but you never admit to a crime. You have to give them your license. You have to let them know who you are. Fine. Do that. But beyond that, don't talk about, oh, did you know you ran a red light or you were speeding? Don't agree with any of that. Do you know why I pulled you over? Don't say yes. No, I don't know. Respectful. Sir, how you doing? How can I help you? Let them tell you. Period. Never admit to a crime, ever. And never talk to them beyond just the basics we talked about, but I having your lawyer. I would like my counsel. Period. Point blank. Secondly, never consent. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever. Never, ever, 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 ever consent to a search. I'm saying this over and over and over because I've seen this too many times in my 15 years of practice. People are always consenting to a search because they say, oh, I don't have anything to hide. It ain't about you having anything to hide. It's about us knowing and asserting your constitutional right not to be searched unless they have a warrant, okay? And number two, it's about protecting yourself, protecting your rights and your life, because if they search you without your consent, then they can use whatever they find against you, and they will use it in court. And they will help convict you, which will take you down a rabbit hole where you're spending money dealing with a charge because you consented and they searched your vehicle and they found or they planted something that you shouldn't have, or they put something in there that they know that shouldn't be in there. It happens every single day with people. This is why I'm taking this time. This is why we're talking about this. This is why I'm excited. You're a part of this community, this academy. Never consent. I don't care if they say we're going to keep you on the side of the road for 5 days. Never consent. I don't care if they say we're going to get the police dogs. Never consent. I don't care if they say we can go get a warrant. Never consent. You don't have to say anything but this. I do not consent to a search, and I would like to speak to my lawyer. Period. Let's say anything else. That's it. Those are the magic words. So let's recap real quickly. I told you, you signed up. I was going to teach you how to successfully survive a police encounter. I have done that. I've given you 5 tips. 5 tips to survive from a physical standpoint. I've given you 2 tips on how to assert and know your rights. And everything is because the number one goal of any police encounter is to leave that police encounter not in an ambulance, not in a hearse, and not in a police car. Hey, this is going to be a great deal. We're going to have a lot of fun doing this academy. We're going to have a lot of inspirational, informative, empowering information doing this community. And what I need you to do is stay engaged. I need you to spread the word. I need you to get your friends and family to go to Solomon-Simmons.com and sign up. I need you to get you and your friends and family to go to my Instagram or Facebook at Attorney DeMario, my Twitter, so we can stay engaged, because we have to involve and we have to educate our people about what's going on, because I need to make sure that you know your rights, protect your rights, and assert your rights so you can save time, money, and hopefully your life. So, hey, this your boy, Attorney DeMario Solomon-Simmons. We're connected now. This is great. I look forward to the next time we get an opportunity to spend some time. And if you learn something from this, go and shoot your boy a DM or shoot me an email. Go ahead and spread this word around to other people. And what I want you to do, make sure you do, is understand that law is my ministry, justice is my passion. Law is my ministry, justice is my passion. Till we meet again, stay strong, stay strong, and make it happen. Peace.